Welcome to the Power Connect webinar, brought to you by the BA Lab.
Hello and welcome to everyone joining us tonight. Thank you for joining the Power Connect webinar. It's the one of many that we will be hosting throughout the year. I'm your host, Rita Fraser, a certified business analyst professional with around about 15 years of experience in business analysis and project management across various industries. And joining me tonight, we have the two co-founders of the BA Labs, also my co-host and my BAFS, AB, better known as AB the BA, and Zilondile or Z Ngaveni. So basically, we've got you covered all the way, right from AB to Z. AB is a seasoned quality engineer with 7 years of experience in the IT industry. He's got a degree in accounting, where he bridges the technical and business insights to deliver exceptional solutions. He's passionate about learning and giving back, and AB also mentors aspiring professionals and supports the community growth. As a 3-time Comrades Marathon finisher, AB embodies resilience and dedication. And off the track, he pursues adventure as an avid super bike rider. And he balances his professional expertise with his personal passion. AB is committed to excellence and inspiring others to achieve their best, both in their careers and in their personal lives. And then we have Z. Now, Zilondile Nkuveni, she is a specialist business analyst bringing years of experience and insights to her work. She is also an active and dedicated member of the IBA South Africa chapter, and she has made some significant contributions to the BA community. Z and I have also co-hosted 2 seasons of the BA Bites podcast, where we engaged with industry experts and shared some insights to enrich the professional community. She's also very passionate about fostering growth, and Z dedicates a lot of the time to mentoring aspiring professionals as well. Her belief in the power of knowledge sharing also drives a commitment to pay it forward by guiding the next generation of business analysts. She's also a firm believer in personal development and is it's inspired by Napoleon Hill's quote, whatever the mind conceives and believes, it achieves. Last but not least, we are also joined by our special guest, Dorothy Makele. Dorothy, welcome, and thank you so much for availing yourself for this evening to join us. Dorothy is one of the BA Lab mentees that joined the program at the beginning of last year as a claim advisor looking to transfer into a business analyst role. And I'm very proud to say, as a mentor, that after a lot of hard work and dedication, she started her role as a business systems analyst in, I think it was November last year, beginning of November. So Dorothy will be sharing her insights with us later in the session, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So thank you all. Welcome. Let's just quickly have a look at the main points of discussion for this session. For today, we'll be talking about key skills to be a successful business analyst. We'll also be looking at some of the emerging trends that we can look forward to in 2025 for RBAs. And then we'll also discuss how you can transition into a business analyst career, and we'll discuss some practical steps on how to do that. Last on our agenda is the power of mentorship. And as part of that, we will then also be talking to Dorothy, who will be sharing her story.
Yeah, and please welcome everybody. Thanks, Riaz, for the wonderful introductions. We are looking forward to engaging with you. Keep the comments coming in. We see Kagiso Bonolo has already greeted us. We are really looking forward to having an engaging session with you guys.
Awesome. So let's not keep our audience waiting. Let's jump right in and have a look at the key skills for a successful business analyst. I don't want to talk about your normal BA skills. I think we can all go and Google it and find it in almost every article that's out there. What skills you need, the basic skills as a BA. Tonight, I want to talk about those skills that really make you stand out and thrive as a business analyst. And it's skills that you can practice even if you're an aspiring BA, but also something that you can review if you're a more senior BA. And that, I think, the one key skill that really stands out for me is emotional intelligence. It's a skill that influences all your other skills, whether it's your analytical skills, your creative thinking skills. It affects all of that because emotional intelligence it requires you to understand and manage your own emotions while you're empathizing with others. And it needs a certain degree of self-awareness so that you can manage your own emotions. And the reason why I say it affects all of your other skills is because you cannot think creatively. You cannot solve your problems if you are, I want to say, emotionally unstable, if you are not in control of your emotions. So I think that is one skill that I'm going to say for 2025 is something that we really, really need to work on.
I think you hit it right on the nail there, because it's something that's lacking in the workplace, and as BAs, I think it's one of the core functions, foundation of really what being a business analyst embodies. Because because we communicate with so many people, you want to create an environment where people are free to talk and express themselves without fear of judgment or feeling like they are stupid for doing or saying certain things. Because as we know, anywhere you go, that when you do, you have to fail a little bit to learn, but you have to be vulnerable enough to be willing to fail and learn from this kind of.
Yeah, and I think with that said, because like you said, dealing with a lot of different stakeholders, that assists when you are self-aware to handle difficult conversations, and it's very critical to understand what your triggers are as an individual, so that you can self-regulate in order for you to be great at your work. And beyond business analysis, I think it's not just a profession thing. Any person, I think, would benefit from employing emotional intelligence.
Definitely. I mean, you said something, Rieta, about empathy, and what comes across to me is that you have it's you syndrome, where people judge other people for doing the same thing. So if somebody comes late, it's no, you came late because you don't care. But when I come late, I come late because my kids delayed me, or I had a medical issue. I have a reasonable excuse for it, but we don't look at other people with the same set of eyes, and that's where empathy really comes in. You need to put yourself in the shoes of the other person, and it's important to embody that as a business analyst. I think it's one of the core skills.
Yeah, I think that is the important part that you said there is the ability to put yourself in others' shoes, to have that understanding. And I think also if you show up as an emotionally stable person, if you come across as emotionally stable, I mean, not being upset quickly when things don't go your way, handling conflict situations with confidence, it also builds trust with our stakeholders. And I think that is also important. Most of our jobs, I think 70% of the time, we engage with other stakeholders, with other people. I think that's the part that we forget. Our stakeholders are people. They also have emotions. They will also react to our emotions. So it's our responsibility to make sure that we show up in a way that is healthy not so that we can only like effectively engage with them, but also that we can do our jobs to the best of our ability.
Yeah. And I think it essentially assists even with the other core skills that business analysts would also need in terms of analytical thinking, problem solving, and the likes, you know. I just saw a comment here that concurs with what we're saying in terms of how it can apply across different professions, where even PMs and dev can consider applying EQ as well. So just everybody, we're not looking for timelines only, but yeah.
I'll definitely concur with the fact that PMs and devs can also use a little bit of EQ, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think
not offending anyone.
I think one other important factor is, feedback. When you give feedback, either on performance or whatever it may be, to either stakeholders or the people that you're working with, it's important to give feedback in a constructive manner and not in a way that diminishes the other person's confidence. You don't want to put them down, but you want to encourage them to continue doing what they're doing and improve. And we see this in a lot of managers, which is a sad thing, but we see this in a lot of managers where, because of their inability to give constructive feedback, they create an environment that is now becoming toxic, and people don't want to work there anymore. So I think finding a good way to deliver feedback is a key thing. But yeah. I think as well, a critical thing, a critical skill is critical thinking. And when I look at critical thinking, it really, for me, is the core of what being a BA is, because it's all about assessing situations and problems, and we know that BAs are there to solve problems, really. And it's not only that, but the fact that when you do that, you want to use facts and numbers instead of emotions to be able to drive the decisions that you have. And that, makes you deliver more accurate results. And, your communication skills now are not based on, what you feel like that day, but what actually could make the project a success.
100%. And I think in that as well is, as BAs, we know that we are agents of change, and we literally deal with it.
I think we might have lost Dee there for a moment, but I'll pick up that conversation and I'll say that, yes, I think we deal with a lot of change, and our ability to adapt to that change is also critical. We deal with changing requirements in our agile world. We are constantly thrown with new requirements. We need to go to the market. This is no longer relevant. We need to adapt. Our priorities are switching almost on a daily basis. And I think even like new tools, like with AI and AI being introduced, we need to adapt so quickly to what is out there. So I think that's also another skill that I will add as a critical skill for BAs and it kind of ties in with your emotional intelligence. It all forms part of that one package. If you focus on the one, I almost want to say the rest will become easier. Now, while we are talking about AI, definitely one of the I can't even call it an emerging trend because it's already an emerging trend, but it's also something that I think is still going to grow in the coming years. If you look at the figures, the stats that show the growth that we can expect in terms of jobs in AI. I read it was the World Economic Forum report that you shared, AB. I think it was AB that also shared, or someone shared that. And do yourself a favor. I think anyone on here, go and look at that jobs report for 2025 that was posted. It will also help you with the key skills that you need to focus on, which is pretty much the same that we've discussed this evening. Automation and RPA, it is growing big, and it's going to create so many new jobs for us out there. And it will require from us as BAs to also adapt to that. Again, that word adaptability. We need to adapt the way we work so that we start incorporating AI in our use cases. We need to collaborate with your data scientists to align our solutions with AI and with the business goals.
Definitely. I mean, I think a lot of us have grown to hate AI, and we kind of demonize it a bit. But I think that AI should be our friend, and because AI drives better solutions, more informed solutions, and it doesn't have biases. AI works on the facts and on the numbers that we have. And the technology that is there to kind of partner with the skills that we have and encourage learning. And I think in the era that we are, because technology is so advanced, we need AI to enable us to learn so that we can better do our jobs. And I think that is the key aspect of why AI really is in the industry. It's really there to assist and help improve the decision making, especially in the industry that we're in, business analysis.
Yeah, and just to answer Masenja's question as well, which also ties to how I use AI, is my best friend. It's actually my best friend because one, it increases my productivity like sky high, because I use ChatGPT, Masenja, for just getting a basic understanding of any requirement, so you don't spend time asking questions that you could sort of easily find out, because like AB said, you already get factual information from these platforms, but at the same time you just need to then be cognizant of not plugging in your company's confidential information onto the platforms. And there are some biases on in terms of how the platform would also work and when you get the information back, don't be like, okay, I'm done doing my work. And that's where the value we add as business analysts comes in that after you get all that information, you can still dissect things that you don't need, that are not even fit for purpose, and add things that are factual and fit for your business as well. So I definitely go to AI for anything, literally. Even if I was to plan a trip tomorrow, AI would help me do that, and that would be ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think that is very true. ChatGPT is also, I think, one of my trusted BAFFs here that I have on the side, especially on the days when my data bundles are running low and I can't think, or I need some new ideas, brainstorm things, because sometimes you are so focused on a specific solution, and when you ask AI, like, give me a list of solutions, it actually brings stuff back that you wouldn't even think about, and you can incorporate that into your solution. So definitely something I don't think we should fear. I think we should embrace. I don't think AI will ever take our jobs. It will if we don't know how or learn how to use it to our advantage. So in terms of our jobs as well, like, use it to improve it, but also make sure that your solutions are AI friendly and supports AI in your solutions.
Yeah.
Then I just saw that there was a question if you need a formal education or qualification for AI tools. I don't have one. I see there are quite a few out there. Personally, I don't think I will do a course right now because it's still so new. There's so many things that we don't know. I think if you maybe struggle with technology, it might be worthwhile. But if you are quite fluent and you're comfortable with technology, I don't really think you need a qualification at this time.
Yeah, I also don't think so, because also remember that it for the most part, these tools must be fit for purpose, must be trying to solve some need. And if you do study a specific AI course, you may not be solving for a specific problem that you may have. So rather learn what is out there as it comes, as opposed to getting a formal qualification. And yeah, I see there's an important comment that mentions that it's also important to know how to use it, and I guess when to use it as well.
When it's appropriate.
Yeah, on that, I mean, I was watching something, a sad story the other day, when a young man who started an organization, an NGO, opened an account for the NGO, and you could, transfer funds from the website and stuff. But what happened now was that somebody used that information to defraud him of the funds that were deposited to help with the NGO. And my first thought was that this person doesn't have a business analyst on their team, because if they did, they would know that there needs to be a level of cybersecurity awareness for that organization. And because they're using software and a website, there needs to be some kind of risk that they are aware of. And they need to do something to help understand the vulnerabilities of the processes that they're using in order to, to make their business work.
Definitely. Like, if you are me, I really shy away from cybersecurity. And it's one of the things that I say to myself is, I will really try and embrace this here. I think it's all those courses that they make you do at work to make sure that you are secure and all of that. But I think for us as BAs, it is important to make sure that your processes don't have any vulnerabilities that could expose you as a business. But we don't need to be the experts. I think that is what got me. Is like, I want to be the expert at everything, and cybersecurity I'll never be an expert at. So I think engaging with the stakeholders, engaging with those who know it best, and make sure to just use that in our solutions.
Yeah.
Collaborations are very important, and that's why we are here, to create those relationships between the people that can help you engage better with your systems to get better outcome. I think that is really an important factor to want to have that versatility, the right people for the right job.
Yeah. And just thinking about cybersecurity and whatnot, we know that we also deal with data driven decisions. So in terms of protecting those the data that we have as BAs, we definitely need to collaborate, I think, with the different stakeholders, just to make sure that we keep our data secured. And yeah, one of the emerging technologies that we have is your data-driven decision making. But I think this one, we speak a lot about it as BAs, in terms of how far do you go with understanding data? What tools can you use in terms of doing data analysis? Some business analysts think, nah, not my sectors here. They don't really they shy away from doing that. But again, it's not something to sort of shy away from. It's more on getting an understanding of data and how to draw insights because from it as well. So understanding the tools that can enable you and your business to make great informed decisions as well.
Yeah, I think something that I found in a project that I did quite recently, as a BA, you also don't need a big data set to make those small decisions that could improve your project. Sometimes it's simple stuff, how your customer engages with your product. And I mean at a very, very low level, but you can immediately see that their behavior and how you could possibly change it, something that you might not have thought about if it's a list of things that you could change into a drop down or something like similar like that. But you can immediately see how they engage with your product and then make those small changes that add value. And you don't need a big data set for it. And you also don't need like your Tableaus and your Power BI and master of that. Excel is perfectly fine to use as a data tool as well. A lot of the BAs, we like glance over Excel because we want to use Excel. Excel is a powerful tool to use for data analysis.
Definitely. I mean, the main aim with these tools is to ensure that, we're able to tackle problems effectively. And the only thing that we need to do is make sure that the communication is there and it's relatable for everyone. That's why BAs create a standard where, they're able to analyze things, but when in that analysis, nobody's lost. We're able to communicate the data, the numbers, and translate that into the kind of products that we want for our clients and for our colleagues. So I think it's important to, to use, to acquaint ourselves with the kind of tools that really give us the kind of accurate readings that we really need for the space.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, there's more comments on AI as well. Just, I guess everyone is very interested in AI. So there's one where it says that we need to be very mindful of how we use our AI tools. 100% Bongile. I think there has to be some responsibility there because even information can leak out based on what you plug in from the tools. So responsibility is very important, and again, understanding the biases that may come from those outputs would be interesting or must be applied. Yeah, and then just maybe speaking of now further career developments, guys, do share for the year what your plans are in terms of that. And if you want to maybe transition to business analysis, we will be also talking about that as well.
Yes. And then, sorry, talking about career and transitioning and all of that, one of the trends that I have seen lately, especially if you're already an existing BA, is like this hybrid role where you play the role of a BA and a PO, or a BA and a Scrum Master, or a BA and a PM. I know with the Agile world, the roles are very fluid, but each of those roles also require very distinct and specific skill set. But it's definitely something that I have seen. I have also played the role in my last two roles where I was not a peer BA. I was a BA and the Scrum Master of the team. I think right now I play a role of a little bit of PO, Scrum Master, and BA. And it is nice. Like, I don't like monotony, so for me it's also nice to grow my skills in other areas, and I'm happy to see that it's also, we're not just being like put in a box and say stay in your lane kind of thing. So I think it's really nice if you want to explore those, discuss it with your team, say you know what, I want to learn some of the skills of being a Scrum Master, shadow your Scrum Master if you have a Scrum Master in the team, or otherwise put your hand up and say, you know what, our team doesn't have a Scrum Master. Can I try my hand at that?
Definitely. I think it's important to show initiative because especially in our space, you realize that, you always have to be proactive because problems are always there. You just need to find them and you need to find solutions fast. So you need to have an eagerness to find problems and an eagerness to want to solve them. And to do that is through collaboration. You need to be able to communicate effectively, either communicating the problem or trying to communicate a solution in the best effective way possible.
Now that you're saying the problems, I think problems run to me. They have a way of finding me. I don't have to go and find them.
When people know you're the problem solver, they want you.
No. Okay. So let's move over to a topic that we touched on just now, and that is transitioning into the BA role. So I know, Dorothy, you are also more than welcome to jump in here if you like. But it is, and I've spoken to so many aspiring BAs, and they all kind of struggle with the same thing as like, I'm not in a BA role. I have the skills. They might have done courses, but they are struggling to get into the role. And I think my advice always is, while you're in the role of whatever that is that you might be employed as, if it's a receptionist, if it's an administrator, there's always an opportunity for you to use BA skills. BA skills is not only for business analysts. And then practice those skills while you're in that position. Show your potential. It's again going that extra mile. And then you use those skills, those transferable skills, and you put it on your CV. And you use the projects that you've done, even if it's not in a BA role, and you put it on your CV. When they ask you, when you're in an interview, you always have that experience and the proof, the evidence to show what you could or what you did and your potential to the new employer. You don't always need that education, that certificate, or that experience behind you.
Yeah, because more often than not, it's you find that you already are doing business analysis work without the title, and hence what you're saying in that, have the portfolio of evidence, understand the core essence of what business analysis is, and if you're already applying changes that add value to your business wherever you are, however small they are, that's a big impact to the bigger picture. And it will be great to start putting such information onto your CV as evidence to say or to support that actually I may have not have the title, but I have been doing the work as well.
Yeah,
I think it's about having.
Now, I think that the willingness to learn is a big factor in it because one, you need to find the right person to work under, to at least follow or follow and see how they do the work so that you can learn. And learning isn't, like you said, Rieta, just from a book or from a degree. It's really on the work, learning how to do the job, learning how to harness the skills that really talk to what being a business analyst is about. And once you harness those skills, you start to become better at them. What you train, what you do often becomes stronger, and that's how you learn and improve. And once you put yourself out there to participate in different functions of the project, then you find that you start to grow and you start to develop and you start to become a BA before you are actually a business analyst. And that's the great thing about it. You need to think about the skill as the benefit and not the actual title. The title will come, but once you put yourself out there, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and literally learning doesn't end in the classroom. You have your peers, you have probably BA colleagues that you can start even shadowing in terms of understanding what their day to day looks like. So make a friend, call somebody. There is so much power in having community, and when you have the right people by your pockets, you can call anybody, and just check if you're not sure if you are on the right track, not on the right track. But for the most part, you find that you are on the right track, and maybe you just need someone to affirm that for you as well. So that's one of the other ways that you can sort of start getting yourself into the transition as well.
Yeah, and I think you also touched another point there is community. Joining a community, your local chapter, your RBA chapter, volunteering I volunteered at the RBA, you are a volunteer at the RBA, and so many skills that I've learned there as a volunteer. It's stuff that I can apply on my day to day now. So it's definitely, and I think I want to say it was networking, but it was so much more than just like the networking part of it. It was not just the community. I made friends, lifelong friends, people that I can pick up the phone when I get stuck at the moment. It's like, hell, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm overwhelmed. I just need you. I know you're good at this. Just guide me here. It's lifelong friendships that you make in that community as well.
100%.
So, something else that I also like as part of transitioning into, and maybe Dorothy, I don't know, mentorship. How has that helped you in transfer? Yeah, in your whole, because I don't. We started off with you were doing your FTI course, but you were still a claims advisor, and I remember you coming to me as when I think we had the BA day, and you asked me like, "Can you mentor me?" And I said like, "Yes, of course we can do that." Did you feel that it helped you in your journey of transferring into the BA role?
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, if I had to talk about mentorship and what it did for me, I would speak the whole night, literally. So it gave me that structure, if I can put it that way. Because now when I was trying to become or transition into this BA role, I would get a lot of knowledge. YouTube, Udemy, and then I got formal education. And it's all good and well, but how do I then apply all these principles that I've learned in the real world, in a real work world? And that's where mentorship comes in, because now you have all this knowledge, but now wisdom is needed to apply that knowledge. And wisdom comes from experience. And it's good to learn a lot of things by experience, but you don't have to repeat other people's mistakes. That's why you get a mentor. It's sort of a shortcut, if I can put it that way. So, yes, you'll still make mistakes, you'll still learn from experience, but you don't have to go the long way. So, when I got you as my mentor, you're the one who shared like your documents with me. I got to see BPMN in real life situations. And another thing, actually, what I've realized what happens at school is that they always assume you're starting a project from scratch, as in you're building a new system from scratch. But in the real work world, more often than not, we're actually adding enhancements. How do you do that? I only got to learn that because of mentorship. I got to see you working on enhancements, on systems. And it really gave me direction. So I would say I wouldn't be where I am without mentorship. Yeah.
I think mentorship counts for a lot. The guidance that you get there really
Yes.
does help you channel you into the kind of person that you are, not just in the workplace.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
also knowing the kind of qualifications that you need to get in the industry, and what is expected of you. You know, what kind of qualifications did you learn about as a BA?
So about business analysis. So I studied at FTI. I did a certificate program in business analysis, and it gives you a good foundation. So you get to learn, understand different methodologies, the frameworks that business analysts work in. Because as a claims consultant, I was used to working under strict like procedures. There's like a certain way of working. But as a business analyst, you work under a framework. And I only got to understand that at school when I got formal education. So it gives you that foundation. Yes.
And
What
I can
inspired
imagine that.
you?
Great. Sorry?
What
I can
inspired you, business
I can
What
imagine
analyst?
that.
inspired,
You know,
what inspired me? So when I started my corporate journey, it was in 2018. I was working on a fixed term contract as a partner relations administrator. And on my left sat a project manager, and on my right was a partner relations consultant. And I would always ask them a lot of questions. Listen, I asked questions like a 5-year-old, always asking questions. And I would also find easier ways of doing things. And one day, the partner relations consultant said to me, you should be a BA. And I said, what is that? And she said, business analyst. Don't you see them? They'll always come here. I'll show you when they come. And the project manager was like, yeah, definitely. So they introduced me to one of the ladies who's a business analyst. And I heard them talking about stakeholders. And I'm like, who's holding the stake? What's going on? Like, what's that? So then, yeah, so then I set up some time with her, and she explained to me what business analysis is, to try to simplify it to me like a 5-year-old that, listen, so businesses will tell you, listen, you want a cake and you have to go to the developers, they are the bakery. But before you do that, you need to ask them, for what occasion is this cake? Is it for a wedding? Is it for a birthday? What flavors do you want? Do you want sugar-free one, or do you want a sugar cake? Because they also don't know. They just tell you want a cake. That's all. And I thought, okay, I can do that. So then that's the overview that she gave me of business analysis. And then she went into the nitty-gritties. And then the problem with me, though, is I never followed up after our meeting. So I met her once and I got to understand what they do. Yes, I went to Google, but I never did anything for years up until 2024, honestly. And that's really something, it's a topic for another day or today if we have time. But I think what really inspired me is the fact that problem solving and my curiosity, it's just intrinsic, I guess.
Can I go?
yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I like the fact that she compared it to a cake. I think something that we as BAs miss quite a lot of the time is a cake really what you need? Like, even for this occasion, is a cake really what is needed for this? And I think that's also like, we need to open ourselves up when people are coming to you, they already kind of have a solution in mind. And it might not even be the solution, You're not going to bring a cake to a Mexican party. It just doesn't work. We need tacos. So that was just one thing. And I think what I want to mention is I know that you came to me and you asked me if I could mentor you. But I think it's a lot of, especially aspiring BAs, they don't have the confidence to just go to anyone and ask them. But you will never find a mentor if you don't get that courage and to go and ask. Most of the time, people are more than willing to mentor you and share their knowledge with you. But with that, it's also a responsibility that comes from the mentee side. You need to know what you want. You need to pitch up and you need to be prepared. You need to do and practice. I remember us going through, I'm giving you homework to do, and you came back and you showed me, and then we went through it. That adds value when you have a mentorship agreement or a mentor. To get the most out of it, you also need to bring your point. It's not, you can't just go to someone and expect them to do all the work for you. So it's just something that I wanted to mention. It's really easy. If you are looking for a mentor, inbox someone, send them an email, tell them, I'm this and this, or I'm whoever. I'm looking to learn a little bit more, a lot more, or becoming a BA. Would you please mentor me and help me to gain those skills?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Rita. I love that you mentioned that because I mean, you heard I was talking about how I expected this lady to come back to me after speaking to her only once. I, you know what the funny thing is? I would, for all these 5 or 6 years, I would constantly talk about how I want to be a BA, but I was not doing anything about it. And there's so many people even today, some of them even have the certificate. It means nothing. It's just sitting there and you saying, yeah, I want to be a BA. Wow, BA, I want to, but you're not taking any action. What are you doing? So actually, this morning, a friend of mine posted something on LinkedIn, and she said, "True growth is being tired of your own excuses." And I said, "That is very powerful. You can't do the same thing and expect different results." So that's the step that I had to take and be proactive. That's why I was able to confidently approach you and ask you for mentorship.
Yeah, and as a mentee, I think a lot of the work has to be done by you as well. So much as you have somebody on speed dial, but 90% of what needs to be done is upon you, and it's full on accountability that you need to take up. And just after this, I see there's a comment here asking if you are enjoying being a BA now that you've transitioned.
Absolutely. I am enjoying it so much. It has its challenges because I'm learning, because I come from a, as I explained in the beginning, from a operations environment. So there are a lot of transferable skills. However, the way of working is very different. As a business analyst, so as a claims consultant, we were working under supervision. So as a business analyst, you self-manage. So that's very different. No one is going to ask you, hello, where are you? What are you doing? You just have to deliver. And it takes a certain level of maturity, responsibility, and accountability. But I am enjoying it because I got to think out of the box now. I'm not working under strict procedures, doing the same thing every day. Although I've learned a lot from my previous job, that's why I guess I'm an analytical thinker. I was able to problem solve because of having been a claims consultant. But it's on a different level. When you're a business analyst, you follow like more like a systematic approach in problem solving. So I am absolutely enjoying it. Yes.
It must have been challenging. I know even when you have a mentor, you have somebody that's there to guide you, but there must be some personal challenges that you had transitioning that you had to face on your own.
Mm.
Do you have something that you overcame that was a challenge that you could look back and say that really helped me grow?
Yeah, so I think I'll mention the challenge of just before the transition and right after the transition. The first one right before is honestly after obtaining the certificate and getting the mentorship, and now you're applying and getting all these rejections. It does something to you emotionally. It demotivated me so much. At one point, I thought, that's it, this is not going to happen. And a lot of companies would say, you don't have experience. If you look at LinkedIn now, even for a junior BA role, they want 2 to 3 years experience. And I think the reason for that is because more and more organizations are starting to see the value of business analysts. So usually when they hire one, they want someone who's ready to get their hands dirty and hit the ground running, right? But it's not impossible, right? So that's where you need to demonstrate your transferable skills and demonstrate what you've done in your current role, which is something that you spoke about now. So as a claims consultant, what I would do is I volunteered. So my organization had a NPO business challenge where you work with a team, you choose an NPO and help them with a problem, come up with a solution to their problem. So I began to think like a BA and I sort of practice being a BA based on the principles that I've learned from my mentorship and from school. So that's how I overcame the challenge. But the main challenge after transitioning is exactly what I mentioned, the mindset, understanding that you follow a different approach when you're problem solving. And there's something that you said, Z, when you spoke about the value. You also spoke about it as well, AB, when you made an example about that company, when you said, I could see that they don't have a BA. Understanding that it's not as simple as saying, gather requirements, analyze documents, that's it. It's not that simple. Otherwise, business can just talk to the developer themselves. So I had to ask myself, what value am I bringing? So that understanding, and it honestly takes support and a lot of learning from other business analysts. You can't do it alone. That's how I managed to overcome the challenge.
You've made so
Yeah.
many punchy points in terms of how you love it, how you solve problems and whatnot. But how would you advise someone who is also looking to take the path that you've taken? Because a lot of people are very inspired by your story. And I think I'm also inspired by how you took action, because it's great and well to have the thoughts, the idea, and whatnot, but it's the action that counts. So, what advice would you sort of give to another professional that wants to either get mentorship or be in the business analysis space?
All right. So it's very important to remember that our journeys are not the same. So the way things worked out for me is not necessarily the way that they will work out for you. However, we all learn from one another, and there are certain universal principles that will work when they're applied. So I say it's important to be intentional. That for me, I would always hear it and I was like, cliche, but I was really intentional in 2024. And anyone who knows me can tell you this. They saw a change. My former colleagues saw how I sacrificed my lunches to meet with Rieta, my mentor, every Wednesday. They saw me sacrificing my lunches to meet with my team working on that NPO business challenge. They saw the sacrifices that I made, losing my Saturdays to attend school for 6 months. There's always a price to pay. And all I'm saying is when you are intentional, making those consistent steps, those actions, something has to give. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Like I said, it can take 1 year for you, it can take 6 months, it can take 3 months. But when you're intentional about your growth and you're not just speaking about it, you approach people. So, one thing that Rieta also helped me with was she advised me to shadow a business analyst in my division. Reason being because she was working in insurance as a business analyst. So it's easy for me to communicate with her on the same level because we're speaking the same language, really. So I was a subject matter expert on her projects, and she would include me in her meetings. It was like, what I can tell you is that no one will say no when you ask them for this. There are so many people that are willing to help. The problem is we are just sitting in our little corner and we have all these goals and plans and wishes, but they'll stay as wishes and goals if you don't do anything about it. When I took that step and approached Rieta and I approached other business analysts, I got to see that people are actually willing to help. Like they are really willing to help. So take responsibility for your own growth and be intentional. That is my advice.
Wow, can I get an amen on that? Yeah, I think it's as the saying goes that dreams remain dreams. They never become goals until you write them down, until you start taking the action to make them real. So I think, yeah, for us, like, is to just do it. Like I started with, that's how I got started. It's like I saw this little, I think it was in a vitamin packet, a little paper that's like, just do it. Even if you're scared, even if you, whatever you excuse you have that you like kind of tell yourself it's holding you back, just do it.
Absolutely.
It.
Oh, and
Just
networking. Networking is so important. You mentioned community. You can't do it alone. Networking is so important. Please,
no.
like network with other BAs.
It is. I definitely agree. And like events is like the almost, I want to say, like your summits and all these different kind of BA events. It's where all the professionals gather. Go there, go prepared. I mean, don't just pitch up. Go and see who else is going there. See how you can make a conversation with them, and then start that relationship, build that relationship. But again, it's like you said, it's not just going to come to you. Someone's not just going to walk up to you and give you everything they know and say, okay, here you go. You need to be intentional about your learning.
Absolutely.
And yeah, go be prepared before you actually attend these sessions.
Yes.
Definitely. Before you kick us out, Rieta, let me, for everybody watching, next month we have a 12-week program, and you need to look at our socials to see the details for that. Also, we have on the 29th of March, we have a BA symposium. That is a one-day conference that is going to be focused on personal skills development. So keep your eyes peeled, look at our socials for the information. So let's kickstart that career in 2025 and transition into business analysis.
Thank you so much, AB. Dorothy, thank you so much for joining us tonight, for sharing your story, just being authentic and just putting yourself out there. To everyone that has joined us, thank you for your comments. Thank you for your questions. We will be back same time, same place in 2 weeks' time, where we will discuss some other interesting topics. Like AB said, just keep your eyes peeled on the social media, where we will be announcing the next topics. Thank you to AB and Z for joining me as co-host this evening. I hope you all have a great evening and the rest of the week. Until next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Stay connected with us and keep the conversation going. Follow us on social media for the latest updates, news, and more opportunities to connect. Or visit our website at www.thebalab.com to explore more resources, register as a member, and engage with like-minded individuals in our growing community. Thank you for joining us for the Power Connect webinar. We hope you found this session insightful. Until next time, keep powering your connections, and thank you for being part of our community.